Shashi Tharoor is not the hot favorite with the Congress High Command that we've known. As he himself has complained again and again, his services are not being utilized by the party as they could do. And is that because they think they don't like him, quote unquote? They see nothing in the Congress. There is not the leadership coming in the Congress of the kind which gives a fight to the BJP.
His nuanced vision and the kind of position that he takes is coming at the cost of the party, Congress party, at this point in time.
There may well be people who are not loyal to the Congress, who may well be hobnobbing with the BJP for their self-interest. Congress line being shaped by one or two people, or is it being shaped together collectively today?
Hello and welcome to the Indian Express. I'm Charulata Biswas and you're watching Explain Politics with me, and I'm being joined by contributing editor at the Indian Express, Neja Chaudhary. Hi Neja ma'am, good evening.
Good evening.
Neja ma'am, today we will be talking about Congress leader and MP Shashi Tharoor and the kind of stance that he has had after Operation Pahalgam, irrespective of what Congress party has said so far. What does it look from your point of view? BJP government, they floated this all-party delegation with 7 leaders at the helm. And one of them was and is Congress leader Shashi Tharoor. Now, Congress did not itself give out his name. It was the government, the parliamentary panel that picked his name. And Congress was fuming over the selection of names that was done. What do you have to say about Congress not picking Shashi Tharoor and Shashi Tharoor accepting the list of the names when it came out, when Kiran Rijiju, he tweeted about it?
Look, he's made it very clear that he's doing it for the country.
Yeah.
And if he can do anything in defending his position in the world fora, that he would be honored to do it. That's the way he's put it. Now, he says that he doesn't know what's going on between his party and the BJP, but certainly you're right, his party did not give his name. But some people in the government say that if they are to be believed, that when Kiran Rijiju, the Parliamentary Affairs Minister, talked to the LOP and Mallikarjun Kharge, the Congress president, he had indicated 3-4 names of people, congressmen, that they would like included. Shashi Tharoor's name was amongst them, Manish Tiwari was amongst them, and I think also Salman Khurshid. But when the Congress sent its list of 4 people, it was others who were included, Gaurav Gogoi and others, 3 others. Anand Sharma's name was included, which is now being taken by the government as part of the delegation. Now, if you look at it, this is part of the internal politics of the Congress party. Shashi Tharoor is not the hot favorite with the Congress High Command that we've known. And Shashi Tharoor has gone public saying that he has other options if the party cannot make use of his talents. He said this in the public domain. Now, there has been a lot of speculation about what he might do in the future. But if you look at 4 or 5 names from the Congress who are best placed, best suited to be in that delegation, it is the names that have now finally figured. Shashi Tharoor, Manish Tiwari, Salman Khurshid, Anand Sharma, Amar Singh, former IPS. They are highly experienced. They are highly articulate. They understand complex issues. They've held positions as ministers. Shashi Tharoor, Anand Sharma, Salman Khurshid, all of them have been, Manish Tiwari, all of them have held ministerial posts, and they understand the nuances of a complex global order today. And they will be able to bat questions. They will be able to field questions in the world capitals when the delegation goes there. So they are tall leaders from the point of view of merit. You cannot fault that. Now, what is the what is the so-called, what I call the loyalty quotient,
Yeah.
which obviously High Command suspects. What is Shashi Tharoor up to? Has he joined hands with the government? But has he taken a position which is contrary to what the Congress position is on Operation Sindoor? I'm not clear about that. He's certainly been a better spokesperson for the government on the India line than possibly the BJP spokespersons have been. So also Manish Tiwari. So
Yeah. But he
that
has
may
endorsed Modi government's response, especially Operation Sindoor, when you talk about it, and he described government's actions as decisive and necessary, and this was quite at odds with what Congress is saying and what Rahul Gandhi has started saying very recently, asking Jaishankar if Pakistan was informed way earlier about the targeting of terror camps, and he asked if any aircraft has been downed by the Pakistani army. So Shashi Tharoor has not yet spoken anything regarding what Rahul Gandhi is saying. He's not reiterating, he's not echoing the same sentiment that Congress is echoing at this point in time.
certainly Rahul Gandhi has raised this question whether
Yeah.
the foreign minister let it be known that they were, at the outset of the action, that they were going to attack the terror headquarters, and that he said was a crime,
Yes.
which has been rebutted by the government, saying that he's got the wrong end of the stick when he said that. And yes, you're right, Shashi Tharoor has not taken a position on that.
Yeah.
I would say very simply on this point of the delegation, if you look at it, no member of the delegation, whether it's those congressmen chosen by the government or those congressmen chosen by the Congress party to be part of the delegation, nobody is going to either sing praises of the government or take a line contrary to the official line on global soil, on foreign soil. That is highly unlikely that a Congress person will now go and sing a different tune in a world capital. They will be briefed, and there will be a India quote unquote line that they will all around which they will try and mobilize world opinion. That is why they're going. So given all this, whatever be the factionalism within the Congress party, and it's not that Shashi Tharoor has been given a show cause notice or has been suspended or is not part of the party.
Correct.
Given the position today, I feel the Congress could have ridden this, and it could have actually made a virtue out of a necessity. It could have, taken the credit for something that they have such experienced, savvy, highly articulate people in their party. That we are a party of governance. We are a party who knows how to do Raj Kaj in the country. We've had decades of experience. And at the end of the day, you turn to us for that experience. So they could have made political capital out of it, rather than what may turn out to be, it has become a very, on a simple thing like putting together a delegation. Nothing could be simpler than that.
Right.
At one
But I agree with you. Like Congress could have gained out of this selection of Shashi Tharoor and positioned itself as a party that can add some kind of value when it comes to national interest. But at the same time, ma'am, do you think we do know that Shashi Tharoor has an independent voice, and the kind of stature that he brings on the national level, the kind of hold, social media visibility that he has, and the kind of interaction that we have seen, don't you think that his nuanced vision and the kind of position that he takes is coming at the cost of the party, Congress party, at this point in time? Don't you think that he should probably, because there has been numerous instances where we have seen Tharoor praising the government, which we have seen, the cross-party acknowledgements, they keep happening. But at this time, when rumors are that he might quit the Congress party and he might joined the Bharatiya Janata Party, which is highly unlikely. But don't you think that he should also sort of take a stern look at how he can support the party at national level?
I think, if I may say so, not batting for Dr. Shashi Tharoor, but it is true. Suppose, point number one, suppose the BJP was playing a highly mischievous game through this delegation constitution
Yeah.
by trying to divide the Congress ranks, which many people in the Congress suspect it was doing. Suppose it was true. The Congress should have thought of turning the tables on the BJP. That is what politics is all about.
Hmm. Mhm. Yes.
And if Shashi Tharoor is on his way out, is the line that Rahul Gandhi took and articulated, say, on which you say Shashi Tharoor has not taken a view.
Yeah.
You know that the foreign minister spoke just before the action
Yeah.
about them striking
Terror
the
camps,
terror.
not the Pakistan.
Even after Pahalgam, till it happened on the sixth and seventh night, this was expected. They were talking about destroying terror. So it's a very obvious thing a conclusion to come to. Was this what Rahul Gandhi articulated, part of the Congress's deliberated policy where senior Congress leaders were party to this?
Hmm. Mhm.
And to which, say, Shashi Tharoor disagreed, or some of the others disagreed.
Hmm.
What I'm saying is the Congress line being shaped by one or two people, or is it being shaped together collectively today? Or what is the stand that the party should take, given a certain situation? That apart, it is true that Shashi Tharoor is becoming increasingly larger than the party. He has a following which goes beyond the official Congress line. People who would not vote for the Congress might vote for him. The young people look at him very differently with new eyes. He has a following in the South. He has a following amongst the intelligentsia, the middle classes. And he's built this for himself. I mean, I've seen the serpentine queues of people who want his signature on books by him at the Litfits. So, I mean, that is an independent kind of following, but that is something he's built for himself. You may like him, you may dislike him, you may agree with him, you may disagree with him. But he's a Congress figure who's risen, who's carved out a niche for himself, even though he's not been favored by his own high command for whatever reason. And as he himself has complained again and again, his services are not being utilized by the party as they could do. And is that because they think they don't like him, quote unquote?
Having said that, do you think that Shashi Tharoor is now more of a liability than an asset in the party?
I think if he was used as an asset, he would become an asset. If he is going to be viewed as a liability, then he will be. Increasingly, people in the Congress are what, Rahul Gandhi said that we have at least 30 to 40 moles in the Congress party. It's a very large figure. Now, it could be that they are deliberately sitting there hobnobbing with the BJP against the interests of the Congress party. But could it also be that they have been forced into those positions because they see nothing in the Congress. There is not the leadership coming in the Congress of the kind which gives a fight to the BJP. And there is disappointment. And they think if the Congress in Gujarat is going to revive Congress in Gujarat is going to be a 50-year project, then the young people will say, my God, am I going to sit it out here for 50 years? So I think it works both ways. There may well be people who are not loyal to the Congress, who may well be hobnobbing with the BJP for their self-interest.
Right. Right.
That could be well true. But there may be a larger explanation for the sense of I won't say defeatism or disillusionment or disaffection or hopelessness or frustration that many may feel inside the Congress. Is Ashok Gehlot your senior most leader today? Very savvy. Even today in Rajasthan, if he goes, people come there. Is he being utilized to the full? Is Sachin Pilot, again a Neta of the youth, of the Gujar community, of young people all over? Is he
Yeah.
being utilized fully? Then there's so many others. I'm only saying, looking at Rajasthan. So I think a grand plan by the Congress party for becoming an alternative to the BJP. For, it may not be easy given the machinery the BJP is. But from 240 that they had last year, they've come into a situation today within a year where it seems to be a business as usual as is, that 240 never happened. And they were as strong as they were in the second term. So I think that will to win, will to power, will to defeat the other side, somehow, it seems to be lacking. One doesn't want to do Congress bashing through this at all. But people who feel India needs a strong Congress, that Congress needs to revive for India to have a democratic future, they all feel very disappointed when this kind of thing happens.
Ma'am, can you also talk to me about any from the time of Nehru or Vajpayee? Was it common for opposition leaders to praise the government on issues of national interest, foreign policy? Do you remember? Do you remember anyone endorsing their policies? The kind of
Look,
culture of mutual respect that you might have encountered?
yeah, well, it is, again and again, prime ministers use the opposition to ward off international pressure. And when necessary, in the larger interests of India, they were political adversaries, but they were not political enemies. So this is this famous episode of Atal Bihari Vajpayee being sent as the leader of the delegation to the United Nations, and there was a resolution coming against India on violations of human rights in Kashmir.
Yeah.
And it was Narasimha Rao, was the prime minister then, convinced Vajpayee to lead the delegation. And the Minister of External Affairs, Salman Khurshid, at that time, was under Vajpayee in that delegation. And it made a very telling point to the world community that India was one on Kashmir.
Right.
So also, again, Vajpayee, when he was facing pressure, I remember on the CTBT, Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty, when India was under pressure to sign at that time. As it happened, it didn't go through the whole thing. But Vajpayee, CPM leaders had called on Vajpayee at the time. Harkishan Singh Surjit, Jyoti Basu was the chief minister of West Bengal, and Vajpayee joked with them. He said, "What happened? You people were opposed to CTBT. What happened? Why are you people silent?" So Surjit immediately got the point, and he told Basu afterwards. And they hit the streets, and that helped Vajpayee. It helped Vajpayee ward off pressure, telling world leaders, "Look, I have to contend with the opposition back home. We are a democratic country. I cannot do what I want." So I think, so also Indira Gandhi at the time of Bangladesh. I think every prime minister has done that, and opposition leaders have worked with them. It doesn't mean it weakens the politics of the opposition. It, of course, gives advantage to the ruling group for the moment. But it is done because, they are, as I said, they are political adversaries who feel there is a give and take between the two sides. Often it is necessary in the larger interest of India. But that is contingent on the kind of relationship that exists between the ruling side and the opposition. Unfortunately, and I think that's the rub, this time between the BJP and the opposition, it's a very vitiated, bitter, distrustful relationship. You don't have the prime minister pick up the phone and talk to the leader of the opposition and say, look here, this is what we should do. Or the LOP call the prime minister with
Yeah.
what things should be done. So I'm afraid that breakdown has taken place, and that is what creates some of the problems that we face today.
Absolutely. I think Shashi Tharoor's act of praising the government, it's not more about that. It's about probably what you were saying, hyper-partisan politics. Probably, maybe it's time that opposition does not permanently become hostile. And I mean, Congress has obviously made the ground fertile for the BJP to react. But maybe this is also time for Congress to also take advantage of the situation and place itself as a party that everyone can look up to when it comes to national interest. Thank you so much, Nija ma'am, for your inputs, and thank you for sharing those anecdotes. As usual, that's the beauty of having you in every conversation, because you bring in something of the past that we all can learn from, and that all the political leaders can take away something from. But thank you so much for bringing in those details. And thank you, viewers, for joining me in this conversation. If you liked this conversation, or if you loved it, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, The Indian Express. And we will be back next week. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.